Hello survivors and welcome to another Walking Dead Road to Survival video, and in this video we're going to be looking at a new event and it is called Mercer's Mercenaries. It is a brand new event revolving heavily around raid tournaments and it is going to be starting tomorrow, Friday the 14th of May. We'll read through the introduction and it says, Mercer's Mercenaries. Mercer is looking to create an elite squad which will only include the best of the best, and he is recruiting. Prove your worth in combat by demolishing the opposition and claiming victory in raids, and Mercer himself might join your team. Event dates are as follows. It starts on Friday the 14th of May 2021 at 12 PM Pacific time, and it finishes on the 25th of May 2021 at 12 PM Pacific time. Now, I think there is a grey market attached to this, so the grey market will most likely finish 24 hours after the end of the event itself on the 26th of May 2021, and I'm guessing at 12 PM Pacific time. I'll read through the overview and it says, this limited time event will be a straightforward one. Earn raid victories to receive army helmets and trade them into the grey market for rewards. Each day, 2 mission events will become available. There'll be a solo mission event which will track your own victories in raids, and there'll be a faction mission event which will track your faction's victories in raids. These will reset every 24 hours, so try to keep up. Collect enough army helmets and you'll be able to trade them in for rewards such as Gold Mythic Mercer, military supplies, Madeline, Maddox, or armory tokens. Will you have what it takes to vanquish your enemies and join Mercer's Mercenaries? Now, there is some information regarding the solo and faction mission events. It says both solo and faction mission events will reset every 24 hours and reward you with army helmets. So to keep this in mind, I'll try and do some calculations in terms of how many you can get on a daily basis and over the course of the entire event. But the solo mission is as follows. You can win 1, 6, 12, 18, and 24 raids. And those reward 3, then 6, then 9, then 12, and then 15 army helmets. If you complete every single one of these, you get an extra 15 on top. The grand total amount of the army helmets you can get per day from the solo missions is 60. You will be able to do this on natural energy, but you will have to be very consistently logging in every, 4.5 to 6 hours just to get those replenished energies spent. Otherwise, you're most likely going to have to drop some cans, which I think won't be as big an issue right now, just because the way they changed war rewards in terms of the crate, you can actually choose which can you want, and some people will have quite a few of those boxes in stock. Now, the event does last 11 days, so if you did just drop the 3 cans on top of your natural energy each day, you would obviously just be spending 33 raid cans. There may be some time when this actually does go into a raid tournament. I believe this is going to start just as the current raid tournament ends, which is not really ideal timing, and if I'm honest, it would have been better if it was, when the raid tournament's up, especially considering the next one, faction mission event. It's exactly the same as solo, but it's faction based. There are 5 missions here. Win 100, 150, 200, 300, 400, and those reward 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and if you complete all of those as a faction on a daily basis, you get an extra 10 each, bringing your grand total up from here to another 40. And that means if you complete everything as a solo and everything as a faction, you'll be able to get 100 per day. It does mean that everyone in the faction will have to raid 13 to 14 times each, but if people are going for that top end reward on the solo missions, that's going to counteract people who aren't, obviously. So you can definitely get it done as long as you've got quite a few active people. You would only need 16 to 17 people to hit that top solo mission event milestone, the 24 raids, and you'll be getting it done as a faction. And now we move on to the grey market rewards. You can trade in your army helmets for rewards of your choice, and these are the choices. You can get a Gold Mythic Mercer for 1,100 army helmets, and you can get a stock of 1 max. You can get 50,000 military supplies, which cost 36, and there's stock of 30 of those. Madeline and Maddox cost 55 each, and there's 2 stock of each of those. And then there's 10,000 army tokens, of which cost 14 army helmets, and there's 25 stock of those. It is worth noting that the armory token part, it does coincide with the RV Elegy spend armory tokens mission during this weekend. So this is actually kind of nice in terms of how it coincides with that. If you do this early on, you'll be able to get some of those armory tokens if needed. But be very aware that this event does last 11 days. The most you can get per day from completing all of the missions here is 100. And you need 1,100 to get Mercer. So you need to complete all of your solo missions, and your faction needs to complete all of the faction missions every single day if you do want to get Gold Mythic Mercer just from actually playing rather than buying crates on the side. So make sure your faction knows this, otherwise you'll be probably quite annoyed if you're hitting those daily mission events and this faction one is obviously not really happening because there are people who are just not really that interested. So that's just a little look at the Mercer's Mercenaries event. I think this is pretty doable. Obviously, like I said, you just have to make sure that your faction is active. And I think this is basically trying to get a Gold Mythic in people's hands because it does seem to me, at least, that the double tap event isn't going to really be accessible by the majority of people. There aren't going to be enough tournaments to actually be able to get enough of these shotgun shells or bullets in the hands of people. So unless you're really going to be spending, you're probably not going to get anything out of that double tap event, unfortunately. It did look like it had the potential, but the event just doesn't last long enough, and they would have to have so many SR and raid tournaments between now and the end, and it's just not really going to happen. I think the best we can hope for is maybe 2 more after this week's events, and that would mean you'd have to come first in every single of those double tap tournaments to actually be able to complete the roadmap. Big fail in my opinion. Hopefully they do some additions because, yeah, that's a big mess up. And especially as it was kind of presented as accessible, and it doesn't seem to be the way. This is being presented as accessible too. Hopefully it's going to be the case. It will, like I said, come quite heavily down to your faction actually, getting things done with regards to the faction missions. As long as you as an individual are hitting those solo missions, make sure you just get your faction motivated. As a Gold Mythic, Mercer is one of the more random characters to come by. He is in the training grounds. I've managed to pick him up in the training grounds. Pretty hype moment on one of my previous videos about that. And he is also in the supply depot. These are pretty much the only 2 places you can get him right now. I have upgraded him to tier 5 myself. I will be able to limit break this guy potentially if I do go for this extra gold Mercer. I'll have to think about it. I want to see, I want to think about the long-term viability of Mercer. I might just do it just for the sake of it, just because it's accessible and we don't really have too many accessible characters when it comes to the good defense team characters, and Mercer's pretty decent. I have had requests, I know, to do a review of Mercer, and I hopefully will have one up soon enough, just to give you my thoughts on Mercer and show you some of his gameplay, just to show you how worthwhile he is to go for. But that is the end of this video today, guys. Do leave me your thoughts in the comments about the Mercer's Mercenaries event. Are you going to be trying to go for Mercer? Are you going to go for some of the other rewards instead? If you don't get Mercer, at least some of the other rewards do seem to be quite useful. It isn't like Mercer or grenades, for instance. Do leave me your thoughts in the comments down below. That is the end of my video. If you did enjoy it or find it informative, please hit the like button. If you're not subscribed already, please hit subscribe. But that is the end of this video, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. And as always, keep on surviving, guys. Keep on surviving.